Hi, and welcome to Black Cat Kitchen. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite Nigella Lawson recipes from her cookbook, Forever Summer. We'll be making her chocolate raspberry pavlova with a few Black Cat Kitchen twists. The oven's preheating to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're getting our pans prepped now because once that meringue's whipped, we don't want to waste any time getting them in the oven. If you notice that the edges of your baking paper are curling, I'll show you a little trick for that later.
Here are the ingredients you'll need for this recipe. Feel free to pause. I'll list the ingredients in the description below.
You can definitely do this by hand, but it's a lot easier if you've got a mixer. 200 milliliters of egg whites or 6 egg whites separated go into the mix. You want your bowl to be very clean and your egg whites to be very cold. Mix them at a medium-high to high speed until they start to get a little bit satiny. That's a satiny peak you're looking for, just that tiny little peak there. Now we're going to start adding our castor sugar. So we're adding 300 grams of castor sugar to this while it's whipping, and that will create really glossy, firm peaks. Once it's shiny and stiff, you're ready to add the rest of the ingredients. We'll sift in 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Try and use the best quality cocoa powder you can get. To the bowl, we're now going to add 1 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar. It's a bit weird, you'd think, to have balsamic vinegar in a pavlova, but it really brings the sweetness out of the sugars and really makes that chocolate really rich. Now here's the Black Cat Kitchen twist. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and to brighten those flavors even more, just a tiny pinch of salt. We'll sprinkle the 50 grams of chocolate chopped on the top and stir it all together, gently folding it in so that we don't knock any of the air out of that meringue. So you'll want to dig down to the bottom and pull it through very gently. Right, now we're ready to bake. Here's the little secret I was telling you about to keep your parchment down on your baking tray. Take a tiny bit of your meringue, dot some in each corner of your baking sheet. Then, when you go to put down the paper, it sticks to it like glue. Nigella makes her pavlova in one giant blob, but I'm going to do some individual ones today. Nice little puddings. Once you put them in the oven, turn it down to 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius. They'll take about an hour to an hour and a half, so keep an eye on them. You'll know they're done when they get sort of dry looking on the edges and they start to crack just a little bit around the top. Once they've finished baking, open the oven and let them cool completely with the oven door open. We're going to whip up 500 milliliters of double cream, or heavy cream in some places. Make sure you don't over whip your cream because then it might turn into butter. You want it to be nice and thick and creamy. Now let's dress our pavlova. So get your pavlova on a plate. Simple as topping it with a little bit of that whipped cream. Spread out so that it falls over the edge a little bit. Drop a handful of fresh raspberries on top and finish with some of that shaved chocolate. How's that for a summer treat? Just love the way you can crack into that and there's that that squidginess in the middle, and you can feel the resistance from the little bits of chocolate in there. Let's have a taste. And the Pavlova is so chocolatey and sweet, and it almost has like that browniness in the middle to it. The cream really lightens it up a little bit because it has no sugar in it, and the raspberries have that little bit of tartness with that dark chocolate that cuts in the top. Absolutely perfect dessert.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Black Cat Kitchen. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you down in the comments below.